I was thinking at the start about these ideas of time, and then love came into it in all its kind of clichéness. But I was thinking, trying to get more into it, thinking of what the actual function of a slow cooker is. And I was thinking that in a world of kind of capital consumption, where everything is based on a kind of fastness and speed, that slow cooking is a kind of rejection of that, or it's a rejection of capital and an invitation into a kind of introspection through slowness, and it's about giving time for things to develop, whether that's physical things like flavours, whether it's the slowness of nature and how you bring the sweetness out of it, or the richness, or the depth. I wrote a shopping list for the kind of things I want. The physical ingredients is food, culture itself, agriculture, countries, variation in countries, dirt, flowers, lead, stars, wind, death, the romantic, slowness, time, sand, the sunshine in Spain, climate change, and pasta. Throughout the course of when I was studying my MA, I was looking a lot at pataphysics. So pataphysics, if you don't know, is the science of, it's the imaginary science. So it describes a universe that is parallel to this one, something that's similar but quite different. It's kind of like a poetry of science, but not science in the way in which we interpret it as kind of fact and knowledge. It's a kind of creative way of being. I mean, my practice at the moment is kind of, it led me to a bit of a crossroads really, as to whether I wanted to go down the route of carrying on pursuing art or pursuing a career in food, because that's where a lot of my research has kind of led me. But then I thought, let's hold back a bit here and kind of see where both those futures lie, or how they can kind of coexist, because I would never want to give up art kind of cold turkey and stop doing it, and I have no intention of doing that. One of the ones was given to a late lecturer of mine, and she said, but believe in your work, because if you don't, no one else will. And that was a real kind of turning point for me in how I was understanding things, because it was never about, it never should be about making work for someone else. If it doesn't come from a kind of true place within yourself, then it's never going to be very good. You know, someone else can give you an idea, but unless that kind of seed is planted within you from the start of thinking about it, it's not going to work out. You can never fulfill other people's ideas. And this kind of led to, not being afraid of failure is another one. And kind of even finding the things in failure. Society needs art like a lung, or in the sense that you have a set of them, and you can live without one lung, but it's much more difficult to breathe. And I think that's what art does for society, and that's no kind of slight against people who may have just one lung, because their suffering is obviously incomparable to what we do as artists. But that's what it is for me, from my perspective. It's like, I think a good line was made by the philosopher Jean-Luc Nancy, who describes art as a kind of vestige. So if you imagine a footprint stepping into the sand and coming out of it again, art is not the footprint, and it's not the foot itself, but it's the action of that foot leaving the impression in the sand and walking away from it. I spent a lot of time walking outside when the day that Storm Doris arrived, and I thought, I have to make a piece of art around this, because this is such a kind of, I don't know, we don't get many storms here. So one that's kind of big as Doris, to even merit a name, I thought I have to make a piece of work about this. So I collected a jar of Doris, so the wind. I went and stood on the top of a hill and collected some of the wind, so I have that. The 5th of May is also my birthday, so there was a kind of idea to make a piece of biographical work, or this idea of my art, my life as an artist, how that can be encapsulated. So the original thought was to get a gravestone with my name and just the date of birth, died, left blank. But for me, I think that's something that's kind of got to be developed further down the road. So what I've done instead is I've created this little memorial stone. It's like a memorial stone with a flower holder in it. So you know the things that people put in a lot of like crematoriums. They have these small little memorials with pots of flowers. So there's one of them that I've made.